There's been plenty of moments that I fell in hard times. More often than not, getting faded was my lifeline. I realized that I've always struggled with change, but sometimes you gotta rearrange before you go insane. I've been doing my best to stay true to myself, put my next foot forward and smoking dope for my health. I never give up the music till I'm rolling in wealth. Some days I swear this basement's my own personal hell. Well, I love the sound of the city. Goddamn, I love the sound of the city. Yeah, yeah. I'm wide awake when you're with me. I feel better when you got my back, yeah. Red eyes, I'm sky high. I think this might be the best night that I've ever had, that I've ever spent with you. I confess I'm obsessed with the sex. Heart palpitations every time that she texts. I admit that we ain't always been the best for each other, but what is love without the little test? Girl, you know you're my sneaky link. When I'm with you, my ego shrink. I'm just craving time for us alone. I think about you every time I'm home smoking dope. I love the sound of the city. Goddamn, I love the sound of the city. Yeah, yeah. I'm wide awake when you're with me. I feel better when you got my back, yeah. Red eyes, I'm sky high. I think this might be the best night that I've ever had, that I've ever spent with you. Not likely that I'll ever get my shit together. Half my life I felt like I was under the weather. All my future endeavors I fall from dawn. Getting fucked up in the train tracks. Never wanna take those days back. Barely ever slept back then. That's the thing, nothing's changed. I know I was young, I was living my life like a goddamn idiot. Started shit and we finished it. At least I live my life with style. I no longer feel so just got sick of the lose, so I decided to grow. Yeah, and I decided to grow. Sick of the loss.
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. How we all doing? I hope you guys are staying safe out there. Of course, today we're going to talk about the whole FTX situation. I don't want to sit here and say that I knew it was going to happen, but I always kind of figured FTX is pretty scammy. I mean, guys, if you're involved with an exchange that shuts down during volatile time periods or stops withdrawals randomly, it's time to go find a different exchange. And FTX has been notorious for that over the last 12 months. Regardless, gonna do the normal TA stuff, then probably talk a lot about what is gonna happen in the future for crypto between all this exchange nonsense, I guess. And I want some of you, if you are or weren't or whatever, if you're, seeing the FTX situation, if you're a victim of the FTX situation, I think it'd be very wise if one, let's say nothing's happened to you yet, take off some of your funds. Keep your funds safe. Don't be greedy. There's really not much to trade right now anyways. We're pretty much just continuing on with the bear market. We're not starting a bull market tomorrow, so stop falling for that scheme that's been going on for 12 months. Just kind of want to keep you guys safe because there's a lot of people that got absolutely boned from the FTX crash. Bottom might be coming soon. Can't help feel like it's going to be ages till we truly bottom out when we look at the VIX. Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean that crypto is just going to completely follow the stock market. Bitcoin's never experienced an economic recession. We don't really know how it's going to move. Now, yes, we're taking in account that it is very possible that Bitcoin continues lower as the S&P 500 continues lower, but there's nothing that is like 100% this is what's going to happen. I don't know what all of that is, Esprit. I don't know. I don't do any of that. I don't know what I'm pretty sure MetaMask is pretty sketchy. I don't do any of that. If you're really concerned about it, guys, just use a cold wallet. You're the only one that has access to it. What's up, yes sir? How's it going? All right, let's start with stocks. Kind of huge for the stock market. We saw inflation news came back and whoop-de-doo. The interest rate hikes are working, which they should. We should see lower inflation. And guys, the market crash is not going to be from inflation or inflationary data. Yes, we pumped. This is an exit pump. Why is it pumping? What's the meaning if we're going through a recession? So this pump gives the Fed ammo to dump on. Obviously, this is a crypto trading channel. I don't really invest in stocks. Stocks are boring. If you want to become a millionaire in 30 years from buying the S&P 500, do it. You will. This is a perfect time to start buying for you. But I'm just not interested in that. 30 years is too long. But regardless, stocks broke back above resistance here. Looks like purely based off the news, still in a downtrend. Guys, remember, this is a macro outlook. This is not micro. We're not looking at 15-minute charts. We're not looking at 1-hour charts. You're still very much in a downtrend. Until this area gets broken, this diagonal, as well as this horizontal resistance, we can't even remotely consider that we've bottomed at all. And again, guys, you confirm bottoms with trend reversals, and there's no trend reversal. We could very much retest this diagonal and shoot straight down. That is a very big possibility, especially with how high consumer credit is, or consumer credit is in like debt. Everyone's in debt. Companies are in debt. And I wanted to add, and I talked about this. I think I talked about this on Wednesday. You have all of these companies that aren't just crypto companies that are, they have holes in their balance sheets. They owe a ton of money to people. They've misused funds. And that's primarily because we've been in a gigantic bull market for the last 13 years. And now we have, a lot of companies that are, they sell horrible products and somehow they're still afloat. And some kind of washout has to happen anyways. So yes, crypto is experiencing that. There's a huge, there's a microscope on crypto because everyone already thinks crypto is bad and this and that. Well, let me tell you, it's really not. It's most of the people that are saying it's bad are either buying into scams and getting scammed, or you know, going with these sketchy exchanges. And I hate to break this to people that were victims of FTX, but we knew it was sketchy from the start. Like, how did no one know that? I mean, they literally stopped trading during times of volatility to not allow you to either partake or trade against it or trade with it, so that you have to FOMO the top or FOMO the bottom, right? Like, FOMO is in like short the bottom. And it's crazy. And people still used FTX. People still, trusted them. They're like, oh, this must be normal. Guys, that's not normal. Binance US doesn't do it. Coinbase doesn't do it. BitGet doesn't do it. Kraken, kind of does it, but I think they have liquidity problems. Like, they don't have enough. Like, sometimes they have to move assets so people can trade them. I think that's why they halt temporarily. But either way, Kraken's fully approved by the SEC. Bitcoin to mid four figures is expected. Stocks have barely dipped. Stocks have dropped 25%. That's a pretty large drop. Real estate gonna die before the bottom is in. IMO, probably. Hope so. Want to buy a house soon. Got a lot of money tied up in cash that I'd like to buy a house soon. Would really like that. South Florida. Houseboat truck. That's all I want. That's all I need. Do I believe in cycles of the market? Yes, because there's literally an economic credit cycle. There's a 10-year credit cycle that the stock market follows, and the same with the U.S. economy. I don't think that you can say that Bitcoin's bottom could be close because of a 4-year cycle. Primarily because you're looking at an economic recession. But I will say that in the crypto space, there are people leaving in boatloads now. People are just terrified. People are taking, including myself, like, I've taken money off exchanges because it is scary. And as much as we say, oh, people are scared, I'm going to leave my money there and move forward with it. Guys, like, this isn't a matter of, okay, are you buying when prices are low? This is a matter of, is the money on the exchange actually your money? Is it even, not even actually yours, it is actually yours, but is it even there? Because Sam from FTX took your money or took people's money and traded with it. So these people had an illusion that they had money in those accounts. Well, that money wasn't actually there. It was just a number that was sitting there. And that's why this is a huge mess. I don't like KuCoin, so do your own research on that. But I would never put my money in KuCoin. Best wallet I recommend. I mean, there's any kind of cold storage wallet. They're all pretty much the same. They all operate the same. Like, if you're really that worried about it, put your Bitcoin on a flash drive, bury it in your backyard, and come back in 5 years. That's what I always tell people. But all right, S&P still in downtrend. Nothing has really changed. It's really embarrassing that we're getting bottom calls still. VIX, we actually somewhat broke our downtrend. Again, I don't really do a lot of TA on this. We're just looking at this from a broad spectrum to see how close we are to the 45 point level, which has marked multiple bear market bottoms in the past. So, and for those of you that don't know, if you look at 2008 COVID, 2018, which was a mini recession. 2008, of course. 2002, 2000. So all of these bear market bottoms always over, or at least touching, the 45-point level. The XY, super interesting, and I know everyone thinks that this is now in a downtrend. Guys, this is still very much in an uptrend. The DXY went parabolic, fully parabolic. Okay, this is parabolic movement. When you have parabolic movement, there's usually a harsh sell-off. Will most likely bounce at the 105 level and at least retest this 114, or consolidate and go up. I highly doubt this is going to change trend anytime soon. We're still trying to raise the value of the dollar, at least here in the United States. The chart is even still extremely bullish. I mean, just because you have big red candle here does not mean bottoms in, DXY to 0. No, that's not how that works. We are in a very large uptrend that is still very existent here. So any type of downward movement, I mean, until we really break this zone here, this is still very, very bullish. Total. Now this is where things get interesting. Sunday's close. So we have a bear flag, or had a bear flag. We are so far breaking down through the bear flag. Keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on Bitcoin as well to see where it's closing. So far, this is a bearish continuation pattern, and it looks like it is going to continue further to the downside. Tether dominance. We are back into resistance. I believe on Wednesday or yesterday when I was teaching class, we were very, kind of on the edge of resistance here. I'm expecting this to break out, especially if total continues going lower. Moving on to Bitcoin, not a lot to really talk about in terms of TA that we didn't discuss on Wednesday. If you'd missed that, go back and watch that prior live stream. But so far, guys, we have a very large bear flag here. It is broken down, and it's very much looking like it's going to close below. Unless we have some kind of miracle tonight, I'm really expecting just to continue lower. I mean, just look at the daily. We actually had a breakdown and retest, which I discussed this morning on Twitter. For those of you that don't know, I try to post morning analysis every day, just to keep you guys updated, because sometimes I just don't stream. Like, there's nothing going on. But bearish retest will most likely continue hitting that 13.7K level. How do you trade futures without an exchange? You can't. The DXY is bullish. Do you think it's the right time to invest in Bitcoin? I've been dollar cost averaging in Bitcoin since 19,000. I started buying here. I didn't think the bottom was in, but I thought it was a good time to buy because our assets down 80% overall. I mean, you're looking at a 77% decline from all-time highs. If you look at Bitcoin's history, best times to buy were on these massive drops. You're looking at 83% here, 86% here. So far, we're about 80% here. I believe 85% puts us at 12K ish. Let me just double check that. 83, 84%, about 12K. So perfect times to buy. I mean, if you're looking at when the best times to buy Bitcoin were, it's when everyone was terribly scared to stay in and they thought the end is near and people were quitting, and you hear the crypto's just a scam, all this, I lost everything. I mean, guys, it's as much as I hate saying this, and if it was completely random with no evidence whatsoever, then I'd take this back. But how the hell did no one know that FTX was a giant scam? Okay, like they literally, and I've said this 4 or 5 times already. They have been stopping withdrawals. They've been stopping trading times of high volatility. They've been pumping and dumping the market with Alameda. Like, it's a whole mess, and it was all there. And I really do feel bad for, the victims of FTX. But at some point, you have to ask yourself, what the hell is going on? And do I need to get out of here? I am in fiat mostly. I think I'm like half to 60% in fiat and USD. Primarily because I don't know what's tied into this FTX thing. I actually had $50,000 on BlockFi, and I took it off 3 or 4 months ago. And maybe a little bit longer than that. I think maybe 6 months ago. But I had $50,000 in BlockFi, and it's $50,000 is a lot of money. I don't care what trader you guys are talking to, how much your net worth is. $50,000 is $50,000. And I took it off because BlockFi was being investigated by the SEC. And I said, this just doesn't sit well with me. I don't like this. So I withdrew my funds and I put them on Abra instead. Give me 1 second. I'm going to grab just a quick drink of water. What do I think of DeFi liquidity pools? I don't even know what those are. I don't like research that kind of shit because I don't really care. I'm mostly in this market for Bitcoin and Ethereum, and mostly in it to make money. I don't really, I mean, I believe it will go somewhere, but if it never does, I don't really care. Like, I'm literally just here to make money and get out. I haven't been thirsty a lot lately. Dude, I go to the gym for like 2 hours a day. I got to keep drinking water. Is Tether going to depeg and crack down? Probably not, because if it does, crypto will not exist. Ever. Where is Duquan? I have no idea. Abra is next. So Abra's next because you said it's next, or because you're just looking to FUD? Because if you look at Abra's balance sheet, if you look at what their assets are tied into, if you look at TUSD, which is backed by FDIC insured banks, it's approved in the United States and backed by the SEC, you might want to recheck that. What do I think about Solana? Guys, again, I don't really care about alts. I think most altcoins are scams. You guys saw the Luna thing. You've seen countless scams with altcoins, and I just don't care. I don't care about them. I don't really trade them unless we're at the peak of the bull market. I swing trade, roll. Let's keep continuing on. 4 hour. Again, guys, this is a perfect bearish retest. You got volume decreasing as we're starting to make higher lows, ultimately trying to drive that price back up. It would not surprise me if we revisited this area again before continuing our move to the downside. It's the weekend, and for those of you that have been kind of paying attention to crypto over the last 6 months, nothing happens on the weekend. So my recommendation is go enjoy your weekend, because it's more likely than not that we're just going to crab. People are going to waste their time trading this and get liquidated. And you know what? If you want to, you can. I'm going to go watch football. Do I ignore Ethereum? I trade Ethereum. Cadabra is next. Okay, thanks. I don't know. I don't know who else you could follow. I mean, you kind of got to do your own research. I really don't look at anyone else's analysis but my own. Primarily because I trade my system. I don't really care what other people have to say or what their ideas are, because their trading system is different from mine, right? And it's not a shot at them. But for the most part, I think a lot of these pro analysis type people with like hundreds of thousands of followers really aren't good at trading, and they're literally just influencers that are just given money from exchanges to FUD or to assist with FOMO or exit liquidity scam, whatever. I use Bitkit. I'm affiliated with Bitkit. Bitkit is working on getting fully regulated within the SEC to be an entity in the United States. This process will probably take about 8-9 months. I talked to the leaders, or like the leadership teams, what's like the board that handle the compliance teams that handle all the legal and like regulatory matters, so that they can stay as an exchange and the SEC can back it. So if you would like to use Bitkit, you live in the United States, I am going to continue using it because I know they're not tied with FTX. They're not tied with any of that crap. You'd have to use a VPN. And that's primarily because of the United States. It's not technically supported in the it's not supported in the United States. So you'd have to use a VPN. But pretty soon they will be getting regulatory and compliance needs met and fully available in the United States in the next 8 to 9 months. If I follow an accumulation plan, I just DCA, man. I just DCA when we're 80%, when we're down 80% on an asset that I'm bullish on long term. I DCA. Now I do trade. I trade a lot, but there just hasn't been a tradable opportunity for me in a while. And granted, I'm just watching the dominoes fall, and from afar, I'm just bird's eye view watching the dominoes fall. I've made a lot of money during the bull market. I've made a lot of money somewhat shorting some of these downward moves, and I'm not going to force trades. BitGet is probably worse than KuCoin. Okay. Thanks for your opinion. Now, anything else you want to complain about? The more followers, less TA in blockchain analysis. That's sad. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I have no idea what will collapse next. Yeah, I don't see BitGet going anywhere. I'm a pretty avidly pretty avid financial researcher of exchanges and what exchanges are doing. BitGet also just put in a safety fund, and it was $200 million. Just in case anything like this were to ever happen. Again, it's not going to happen, but there's a safety net fund. So I don't know of any other exchange that has that, other than Coinbase backing your account up to 250K. I don't use leverage. Yeah, if you guys have to use leverage, you're trading incorrectly. Don't use leverage. Leverage is literally there so that you fail. That's why it's there. Exchanges wouldn't offer leverage if people were making a ton of money off of it. Just an FYI. But let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum is making things look, very interesting. The weekly on Ethereum looks like we're going to at least close below here. Primarily because of the way total, Tether dominance, and Bitcoin look. I mean, Bitcoin's going to drag this thing down. And also you have a nice dead cat bounce here. This is going to revert and most likely hit the $1,000 support level. AP Finance, I only share that with patrons. With the recession in stock markets going into bear market soon, do you think Bitcoin could break the pattern and fall down to 4-digit or 3-digit numbers? People seem to be buying gold too now. I mean, regardless of what I think that'd be ridiculous. Like, guys, the United States government owns Bitcoin, like hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin. There are institutions that own Bitcoin. Bitcoin is pretty, I'd say, mainstream. Same with crypto. I don't see it dropping much lower than it already is. It's very possible, but I just don't see it. You guys have to remember, when Bitcoin was new and it was pretty much used to buy things on the dark web, and that's what it was used for. It wasn't intended to be used for that. It's intended to basically replace the banking system. And you have Bitcoin, New Age Bitcoin, it's used to buy drugs or, sex trafficking, Silk Road kind of shit. And it gets all this bad rep, and people are scamming people with it and all this shit. Bitcoin's been through every battle that you guys are going to complain about and tell me, oh, Bitcoin's going to 0, Bitcoin's going to 3 digits, Bitcoin's going to 4 digits. Bitcoin's already been through all of that. And Bitcoin is, yes, today it is $17,000 almost. But at one point it was $69,000. I don't see Bitcoin. And this is just my opinion. I don't see it dropping below 10K. Now, do I think it's possible? Yes, it is very possible that Bitcoin could drop below 10K. But I personally just don't see it happening. There's just way too many people are now involved with cryptocurrency. Yeah, AP, it's not like a shot against you. I just like if people, and for those who don't know, I have a Patreon group. I teach a trading class. If you've ever wanted to learn trading or wanted to learn my system, you are more than welcome to join. It's all through Patreon. I believe there's a link in the chat, in the live chat, and in the description down below. However, I can't share that information because those people are paying for it. It just wouldn't be fair to them to. It's part of one of my businesses. Like, it's not fair to myself either to just keep giving everyone free information all the time. I've earned my stripes and stars during the last 2 years, and I've probably been the only analyst that's called every single major move except for one, and I'm probably the only person that'll admit this. I got this wrong. This second touch of 69, 65K, whatever, I got that wrong. I knew we were going to drop somewhere in this box. I knew we'd drop. I knew we'd pump here. And I have the tweets and the analysis to prove all of this. Knew we'd pump here. Knew we'd dump somewhere up here. Again, have all of the analysis there. I don't want to say I missed out on all this pump. I didn't. I made a little bit of some gains, but that was a killing if I did. But a lot of this shit was derivatives. It was Alameda, so that's where you see that extra pump with literally no volume. That was the best part, is the pump had no volume at all. And of course you guys know me. I've been bearish really this whole time. This whole thing I've been bearish on. None of it has been bullish. Now on my DCAing, yes, I don't know where the bottom is. I'm still macro bearish just because we're not on major support yet. Once we hit 14K, I'm definitely looking for longs, but macro-wise bearish because of the stock market. But yeah. Oh, appreciate it, man. Enjoying your stream, watching almost all your streams. Love it. Keep up the good work. Oh, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Probably going to end it here, though. There's just not a lot to talk about today. I kind of went off my FTX rant, but I will end on this note. Guys, please, if you are worried about, if you have money on a crypto exchange and you need that money, take it off. Take it off. Your life is, don't be greedy. Your life is worth living. Like, use that money to buy food or do whatever you need to do, because as much as I'll use Bitkit as an example. As much as I support Bitkit, I wouldn't be affiliated with them if I didn't believe that they were truthful in their words. Trust me, I've had a lot of discussions with them. I used to be affiliated with Mexi, and Mexi did some scummy shit. They also offered me deals into pump and dump schemes, and I said, no, I'm out. I'm gone. I'm out. And regardless, let's say Bitkit is, maybe they took part in the whole FTX thing, or maybe they were doing something that was fishy or weird. I would be taking my money off immediately. I would be definitely telling you guys was I'm an affiliate. But I just, from your own perspective, if you're hearing some of these weird things happening with your exchanges, because there's always signs before it happened. There were signs of the FTX thing. It is better to be safe than sorry. And I'm going to end on that note. I hope you guys have a good weekend. And remember, be patient, use risk management. Good